Hey guys, welcome back. So today let's see why do we need a hybrid cloud? Okay. So what is hybrid cloud? So hybrid cloud is a mix of on-premise and cloud. So cloud can be anything like AWS, GCP, Azure, Alibaba, whatever it is, and then our on-prem private environment infra. Okay. So why we need a hybrid environment? Because mainly banking and financial institutions, they will be having some confidential and important data. Okay, so they will not feel secure to keep them on the public clouds, so they can maintain their own private cloud, and for normal use cases they can use the public cloud. Okay, so that they can use hybrid cloud as a combination, so that it will be very helpful for them. Okay, so the first thing is flexibility and freedom. So okay, so not every workload fits perfectly in public cloud or private cloud, so hybrid cloud will be the best way for them. Okay, so they can run the sensitive applications in secure private environment, and scale other workloads in public cloud, which doesn't need to be much secure. Okay, even cloud is also secure, but it is their data cannot be exposed in public cloud, though they can keep it on the private. So we will have the flexibility and freedom. And another thing is cost optimization. Okay, so in case if you're running everything on public cloud, the cost of each component may vary, and it may cost you more amount. Okay, so what you can do, you can do the balancing of cost by spreading it equally among public and private clouds. So hybrid cloud lets you balance costs, so keep predictable workloads on on-prem private cloud and use public cloud only for extra capacity. So in case if some additional requirement is there, then you can use the public cloud, so that you will be able to save on the cost. And next thing is the data security and compliance. So some industries like banking and healthcare needs data residency, compliance and control. So they don't want their data to go out of their environment. So they want all their data to be private and within their environment. Okay, so then what we can use, we can go with this hybrid method. So all the applications which needs to be tested or something can be kept in the public, and the secure data, all those things can be kept in the private cloud. So with hybrid cloud, critical data stays on premise, while non-sensitive workloads move to the public cloud. Okay, so that your data will be secured within your infrastructure. And the business continuity and disaster recovery. Okay, so if you your on-prem system fails, then what you can do, you can do failover or disaster recovery to the cloud. Okay, so this makes hybrid cloud a stronger choice for disaster recovery and backup strategies. So as a backup, you can keep all the applications in the cloud, or else in case if on-prem environment fails, then you can switch over to the cloud. Okay, because environment will be available within some time, right? So you can keep it as active, passive, or active standby environment based on your requirement. And then whenever the on-prem environment goes down, then you can switch it to the other environment. Okay, so that you will be able to continue your business strategies. Okay, and then legacy and modern coexistence. Okay, so many companies still run legacy applications. For example, banking and all, they will have some of their legacy applications that cannot be migrated to cloud, because they may not be supported. In case if they have been written in any of the old languages, then they will be supporting only on their private infra. Okay, they will not be supported on the public cloud. Okay, so what can be done in that condition? So you can run that application in your private cloud. Okay, and then only the applications which support the modern cloud platforms, that can be migrated to cloud. Okay, so hybrid cloud allows them to keep legacy apps on their on-prem while adopting the modern cloud native apps in their public cloud. Okay, and also agility for innovation. So developers can quickly test, build, and deploy in public cloud, while production system still runs on secure private infrastructure. So developers, for only testing their changes, or for testing and building and deploying their new code, they can use the public cloud, while production system they can run it on the secure private infrastructure, so that their environment will be very safe. Okay, and also this speeds up in digital transformation without throwing away the existing investment. Okay, so meanwhile, even in case if you have to innovate anything, or else just to check how compatible your environment is with public cloud, you can test these things in your public environment. Okay, so this is the main differences between hybrid cloud. Okay, So the next is why do we need a multi-cloud? Okay, now we have seen hybrid cloud. So then why do we need a multi-cloud? Okay, now many organizations. Okay, so now many organizations are going towards multi-cloud. This is one of the key features because let's see why multi-cloud is needed. Okay, so avoid vendor lock-in. Okay, so if you rely on just one cloud provider, you are stuck with their pricing, features, and outages. Okay, so what happens? For example, you are just going with AWS. Okay, so in case if some global outage happened, okay, then your entire infra, your work will be stopped, right, till that issue is fixed. Okay, but in case if you have like multi-cloud, then in case if AWS is having some issue, you can switch to Azure. Okay, so even for example, in EC2, like you may have different pricing, whereas Azure VMs we may have different pricing. Okay, so because EC2 may be costly or Azure VM may be cheaper, so we can go for the one which is cheap. For example, if VMs of Azure is cheap, we can go for that one. And if AI features in Google Cloud is cheaper than Azure AI, then you can go for GCP AI. So similarly, like whichever features you need, you can opt for that one. Okay. So in case if you are stuck with single cloud provider, no matter like whatever they charge, you have to pay it, right? But in case if you have multi-cloud, then you can choose the things whichever provider is providing it for less amount and which is highly reliable, you can go with that one. Okay, so you will have less outages as well, because even last week we had some outage with Azure uh, because there was a data cable breakage in C. Okay, so similarly things can happen. Okay, and multi-cloud, it is freedom of choices, like you can move workloads between different providers like AWS, Azure, GCP, Alibaba, whatever, Oracle, anything, so you can switch between them. Okay, so that is the advantage of having multi-cloud, so that you can avoid the vendor lock-in. Okay, and best of each cloud, for every cloud provider has unique strength. Okay, for example, AWS has great for scalability and ecosystem, like it has many features, right? So you can use that one. Or else in case if you are having many applications which are related to Microsoft, then you can use Azure. It is best for Microsoft and enterprise integration. Okay, and in case if you are using some data analytics or AI, then GCP has the good features. Okay, so based on your requirement, you can switch. Like you can just take EC2 from AWS and AI related features from GCP, and Microsoft. In case if you have some authentication or something, you can just take Azure. Okay, so with multi-cloud, you can pick the best tool for your job. Okay, there is no need to depend on single cloud. And reliability and uptime. Okay, outages happen even with top clouds. Okay, yeah, because we see frequent outages with AWS, Azure, everything, right? So when you have multi-cloud, you can switch between them during the outages. Okay, so that your business continuity will go on. So if one provider fails, so workload can run on the another. Okay, and compliance and data residency. Okay, and even this is one of the most important thing, because some countries require data to stay in their region. Okay, for example, Europe don't want their data to be staying in any other country. Okay, then you have to have their own infra there. Okay, instead of having it in India, you should have it in some other place. Okay, so by this you will be having compliance and resiliency. Okay, so multi-cloud lets businesses use local data centers of different providers to meet the regulations. Okay, and next thing is like cost optimization. Okay, so you can negotiate better pricing and shift workloads to whichever provider is providing it for the cheaper price. Okay, so it is like a shopping cart. So whichever you can compare different products, and whichever is best for you and whichever is affordable for you, you can pick that, right? Similarly, you can choose different services like AI services from one and compute services from one, and based on your workload, you can choose which one is best and which is cost optimized, and then you can work on that. Okay, so that you will be having more cost optimization as well. And next is innovation and future proofing. So, okay, so by being multi-cloud, you are never locked out of new innovations. So different cloud provider may provide different innovations, right? So you can just work with different cloud providers. For example, you could use AWS for compute, GCP for AI, and Azure for enterprise apps at the same time, and then you will be able to implement together all of these things based on your requirement. Okay, so that it will be cheap and it will be good as well, so that it will be of innovative and future proofing. Okay, so this is the main difference between hybrid cloud and multi-cloud. Okay, so and this is very common. Like nowadays, all the bankings and financial institutions, they are mostly going towards hybrid cloud, like a combination of private and public cloud, whereas all the enterprises are going towards multi-cloud. Okay, so they will have different cloud providers. So based on their requirement, they will be shifting between the cloud providers. Like they will have different resources from different cloud providers, so they could use best use of the resources. Okay, they could make use of best resources, and that's it for today, guys. So going forward, we'll be seeing GCP classes. Okay, after that, we will be going ahead with Kubernetes security and Kubernetes 0 to hero. Okay, thank you. Bye.